Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I have all the meditation books here with me. I think I'm going to start with the Meditations for Living in Balance, because I haven't read from this in a few videos. So let's try this one first. February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. All right, let's see what it says. Oh, this is a good one for me. Lists. February 2nd, lists. I live by lists. Susie. I don't know Susie, but I live by lists too, Susie. Okay. Aren't lists great? Anyone who has the courage or stupidity, or both, to malign lists should be shot at sunrise. Lists are one of the quickest roads back to order and sanity when life seems to spin out of control. One of the beautiful things lists do is give us a peaceful illusion of finiteness in an infinite world. The illusion, of course, may be short-lived, and the momentary pause it gives us to get our feet back solidly on the ground may be well worth it. Lists also feed our belief that we can get organized and that organization will work. This belief also is vital at times and will keep us stepping up to the plate. Probably the greatest thing about lists is the sheer joy of checking them off as we do them. Amen. That's for me. If we are feeling really bad, it's good to add things we have already completed to the list, just so we have the pleasure of checking them off. Feel unbalanced? Indulge in lists. I love that so much. I'm actually going to read the one before this because it's really good too. I just saw the title of it. But I love to make lists. And, you know, most nights before I go to bed, I type up my list for the next day. And then in the morning, if I have to add anything to it, I do. And then I print it off. And I used to write it all out. And it had to be like perfectly written down on a legal pad. I still love legal pads and notepads and Post-it notes. I love all of it. It helps me feel organized. But I'm like all over the place in my head thinking. I bought a clipboard, and so now I take the printed piece of paper off and I put it on the clipboard, and then I carry the clipboard around with me, and I cross things off. Even like make coffee, or get coffee, or do the crossword, I put on there. Because I think it's important to put things on there that make us, you know, happy, or like make the bed, or whatever. And I love lists. Lists help me feel like I can find some order to things. You know, I have, as you just saw, many thoughts that run through my head on a regular basis. I just moved my phone from here to over there, and I wish I had kept it, because my notepad on my phone is like just list after list after list. It's like lists of movies that I want to watch, lists of TV shows that I want to watch. I did a whole list of Christmas movies last year, and I put a green check mark next to each Christmas movie or Christmas TV show that I watch. I make daily lists. I do lists of things around the house that I need to clean, like big projects, like cabinets, or the basement is number one on there, you know, or my bedroom closet, like with my clothes. And then I have smaller things, you know, that are like just like spring cleaning kind of things. So lists really help me find order on a day-to-day basis where I don't really feel like I have it sometimes. And back in the day, when I was working in a treatment facility, what I would do is, you know, every single night before I went home, I had a legal pad, and I would write down, I would go through my list from, there's like one little hair that's like floating here. I would go through my list from that day, and anything that I hadn't completed, I would put on my list and rewrite it on my new list. And then I would put the date at the top, like let's just say if it was tomorrow, I would say, you know, put at the top, Thursday, February 3rd, you know, 2022, and I would underline it. I know, this is how I do things though. And then I would put like 1, do this, 2, do this, 3, do this, right? And then I would have all those things, and then I would put it in the center. We had like those big calendars on our desks, you know? Do you guys want to talk about those desk calendars? I love those. I need to get one of those. I need to get one of those desk calendars. But anyway, I love to cross them off. I would put like vacation and my dates, you know, and then I would just cross those off, and I couldn't wait till then. But anyway, and then I would put my legal pad, my white legal, it was always a white legal pad, on the, right in the center of my calendar, and then with a pen and a Sharpie and a highlighter. And I carried those three things. Pen, highlighter, and Sharpie, and the pad carried with me. I carried them with me everywhere, and then I would, you know, cross them off. And I can remember my supervisor one time, she was like, you are so organized. And I was like, I have to do this or I'll forget stuff. And I do. It's like, I love to do the cameos. I love them. But if I don't put them on my list, I completely forget about them, and then they expire. It's like, even like just things that throughout my day, I'm like, if I'm thinking I'm going to need to stop at this like place, I'll drive right past some place that I need to stop and forget to stop there, you know? So that is a great meditation and a great reminder for me. If you're not a person that's a list maker, start off slowly and see if it helps you. I think you'll find that you really enjoy it. Okay, this is from February 1st, laughter. Genuine laughter is a physical effect produced in the rational being by what suddenly strikes his immortal soul as being damned funny. Hilaire Belloc. Have you ever been in a good restaurant and seen the other guests, not you of course, become annoyed when a group at one table is convulsing in laughter? In fact, how often do you see people convulsing in laughter these days? There seems to be a cultural mistrust and embarrassment with laughter, unless of course it is in a controlled situation. It seems that children are constantly shushed when they are laughing. Comics rarely win Academy Awards, and we are told that funny people are not taken seriously. Are we being conditioned to not laugh? What fun it is to have a good laugh, one that bubbles from our pelvis right through the top of our head. I have a good friend with whom I laugh. We do many things together, and one of the most important is we laugh. He calls on the phone and we start the conversation with laughter. Often laughter at the sheer joy of living and being friends. When was the last time you had a good belly laugh? Are you suppressing your laughter? Laughter is good for the body and good for the soul. Lighten up. And I love this meditation so much, you know. I talk a lot about driving around with my my best friend, my good Judy, Tanya Jean, and, you know, we have very serious conversations, but we'll just get laughing so hard too. And one of my other favorite things, and he's actually listening right now, he can hear me upstairs, but one of my favorite things is when I'll just do something silly. I do just silly stuff constantly, you know. You probably assume that by living with me. But like if we're like watching a TV show or something, there's music on, I'll just like start dancing. I like start bucking and I'll be like, oh, they asked me to dance. And Alex will just look at me with this stupid like look on his face, and sometimes he laughs and it just makes me so happy, you know. It's like to share like just something stupid between each other, and we show each other TikToks and stuff like that. And yeah, but I love laughter. I think it really cures so much. And I can remember back in the day, my mom, she would love to go rent movies, sometimes the same movies over and over and over again. You know, those old Saturday Night Live actors and actresses that were in movies, you know, like a Caddyshack and Meatballs and all of those movies. You know, my mom loved those movies back in the day, and she would rent them and just sit there and just like laugh and laugh and laugh, and she loved it because it just brought so much joy to her, you know. So I have this is not about laughter, and I've told this story I think before over here. I know I've told it on my vlog, but my mom one time was having like this really horrible day, and so she went, back in the day you could rent movies at the grocery store. Do you remember that? And this was when my mom was like drinking and stuff, I think. And she went and like rented this movie. She was having like a horrible day. And so she said to the guy, this kid that worked at the movie area, she said, can you recommend something that's really funny? I want to watch something really funny tonight and just laugh. And he recommended her this movie called Men Don't Leave with Jessica Lange. And my mom got home and she watched the whole thing, but if you've never seen the movie, it's about, I think Jessica Lange's husband dies or leaves her, and so she has to like sell their home and move to the city and work like 2 jobs raising her kids. It is not a comedy, and my mom was so mad, and she went back to she was like, how dare he do this to me? She was so upset about it because, yeah, like funny movies always like helped her. And my mom was somebody actually that, it's so funny when I look back on this. She watched Saturday Night Live literally every Saturday. I mean, she could tell you every musical artist. She loved most of the musical artists that were on there. And, you know, she'd call me and she'd say, have you heard of this musical artist? That's how she found Shirley Manson from Garbage. She loved the band Garbage. And, but she watched Saturday Night Live like literally every Saturday night until she died. And she had for, you know, since her youth, watched Saturday Night Live. And she would talk about Second City in Chicago and, you know, stand up and all that kind of stuff. My mom loved just the idea of having, you know, a sense of humor. And I think both of my parents have given me different kinds of sense of humor, you know, and my dad has given me a sense of sarcasm, which sometimes is not great. I think sarcasm can sometimes come across as passive-aggressive anger, but I think sarcasm is also a way to laugh at ourselves. You know, and I've learned sometimes that to lighten the load of going through really difficult times is to sometimes be able to laugh with those people that are closest to me around what we're going through and, you know, not make fun of it, not make light of it, but to be able to laugh with one another is ultimately, I think, one of the greatest medicines of all. So anyway, great meditations today. I loved both of those from the Meditations for Living in Balance. We're getting ready to have a storm here in Indianapolis, so if you're in the middle of that as well, or wherever you are, if you're having I like to say the word inclement or bad weather, let me know, and I hope that you guys are staying safe and cozy inside. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.